Hey guys, welcome back to High Top Texas. Got some breaking news here. Longhorns are doing some work. We were just talking about recruiting and how Texas is going to end up, and then bam, Sark hits us with one. When we talking big. We're talking big in every kind of, in all the right ways, in all the right places. Massive offensive line here for the Texas Longhorns. Lacey, lace up with Lacey. How you feeling about the big time commit? Just happened just moments ago. We were on the ball, ready to rock.
Big human. That was what Sark tweeted out. That's been their MO from day one on that offensive line. Coach Sark and Kyle Flood have really, really emphasized big humans on that offensive line since they stepped foot on campus. Their 2022 class was full of very, very, very large human beings. So that has been kind of their MO, their blueprint for their offensive line. Is they want big, they want physical, they want guys that are versatile, that can play multiple different positions, that there's no drop off. You know, they want beefy, talented, physical, angry guys on that front line to be able to, protect your quarterback and to be able to help in that run game. So that's obviously something that's extremely important to them, and they just further prove that with 6'5", 309-pound Jackson Christian out of Port Neches Grove, who has a very kind of Roshan Johnson-esque character about him. Obviously, two different positions, but so Roshan Johnson, for those of you that don't know, came out of Port Neches Grove, so same high school, and they kind of had the same Longhorn blueprint. They are physical, they are tough on that line, and that's just kind of like the way that PNG runs. That's just how they work. They've been to state very often. They were in state last season
One
versus,
state
I believe,
last
South
year.
Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
So, and I believe it was PNG versus South Oak Cliff the year before as well. So they've been to a few different state championships and everything. So PNG is not no slouch program. And I'm really, really excited to see what Kyle Flood and Coach Sark are able to do with Jackson Christian.
We were talking too. I mean, this is a big time pick, a big size. Watching his film here, the kid's going to bring a lot to the table and be an impact player. I mean, maybe not right away because you're giving about the experience on your offensive line, and we're going to talk a lot about the O line and where it's going to look like. But this fits that Saban mold, that smart mold of offensive line. The recruiting has been a little bit, I would say, unorthodox over the past years for offensive linemen. It's hard to grade these guys because typically in high school you're just looking for size. The development isn't there. Although this year it is at an all-time high. The development is incredible, and this kid has it as well. And I was kind of surprised. I'm like, 3 stars. This kid's got everything you're looking for. Plays tackle. Not that matters star-wise, but he plays tackle. He's huge. He's got great technique. Got great feet movement. Great hands. There is some areas where I could see, like, given this class, which I've watched a lot of film on these guys, this class is top tier. And you were just saying that before the show, is that the talent out of Texas for just the offensive linemen is massive, which obviously could hurt a little bit when you're going to be overlooked, right? Because it just kind of the cheerleader effect. You're just kind of getting pushed into the middle of the pretty girls.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things that I have written down in my notes is literally under recruited due to great class, because that's pretty much the only issue that Jackson Christian has. Is he's good and good at what he does. He's versatile. He's played all positions on the offensive line. There's just so much talent there. It's just so deep in the state of Texas that it's just, some of these guys just kind of fly under the radar. And as unfortunate as that is, great pickup, great eval by Steve Sarkisian and Kyle Flood, because it's very, very obvious that he is going to be an impact player on that line.
Love that. Love that Sark's getting one under the radar. That's always fantastic news to hear. So look, I looked at your class last year. 3 offensive linemen, 3 defensive linemen headed into the SEC. Kirby, the Sabans of the world, he's no longer involved. You got to recruit heavily in the trenches. Georgia ended with 6 on both sides of the ball. You've got to be thick from top to bottom when you want to be competitive in the trenches. And you go back and look at that SEC championship game versus Georgia and Bama. What won the game was the trenches. Bama just straight up wore Georgia out. And Georgia focuses heavily on their offensive line. And we've talked about your line, your trench work, especially defensive line, Offensive line, I don't
Mhm.
think has been too much of a struggle, and you've even talked about the experience that you're bringing back for next year, which has got to be exciting for that
Mhm.
running back room and for Quinn Ewers. And now you're lining up with this big stud here at a 6'5". Like looking at him, he looks like an NFL caliber. Just his sheer size alone. Like it's like, yeah, that guy could.
Mhm.
You could just plug him in. Like he looks the part already. That's half the
Mhm.
battle when it comes to the offensive line. The rest will come.
Oh, for sure. For
Can't
sure.
teach
It's
size.
that he Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You can't teach size. You can't teach wingspan. You can't teach hand size. You can't teach the measurables. Those are the things that you can't work around. Like development will come with the process. Development will come with what Steve Sarkisian and Coach Kyle Flood are able to do with him once he gets to the program. But size is something that you just have to work with.
For sure.
So I have noticed that it does seem like they kind of go for guys that aren't fully done growing yet, guys that seem like they might get a little bit bigger in size. And I think that they really trust their evals. They really trust what they're doing on that line. They really trust their recruiting style and everything like that. So I think we're all really, really excited to see what they continue to do and for Jackson Christian to come into the fold.
We were talking about the recruiting class yesterday on how it could end up for Texas with a 92 or average rating currently. Here is the entire class in its entirety. 7 commits thus far, ranking you 22nd. Lance Jackson, number one defense. Your number one player, defensive lineman. Elijah Barnes, Mario Winston, KJ Lacey, Ricky Stewart, Jackson Christian, who obviously we're talking about currently, and then Brandon Brown, another defensive lineman. So a great class thus far, mostly filled up with 4 stars, a few 3 stars in there. But
Mhm.
Jackson Christian could climb up those polls very quickly as the season goes on. Again, playing at a school like PNG, you can expect that to help with his credibility. And like you said, underlooked. That doesn't mean over this next senior season things are gonna grow. And keep in mind, we're just looking for a number here. The talent,
Yeah,
the number is
it's
it's winning the
obvious.
offseason. It's winning on the paper. It
Mhm.
makes it feel good, but you're getting a talented player, whether there's 3 stars behind his name or 6 stars behind him. And that's not even possible, but you know what I'm
Byron
saying.
Murphy was a Byron Murphy was a first round pick. He was a 3-star coming out of high school.
6'5", or 6'5", 309, 310.
No, he was actually I believe Byron Murphy is smaller. Byron Murphy's actually a smaller dude.
Oh,
I don't believe I know the exact measurables right off the top of my head, but I believe it was like 6'1",
okay. Guard.
300. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. Byron Murphy on the defensive line.
Oh, okay. D line. Okay, so more of a probably edge D line. Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, look, I think great pickup. The size here alone is going to be huge for you guys. And look for Texas. I wouldn't like for you to. I would personally would not like for you to land more. But look, you got to look for 4 or 5 more guys. I think to be competitive in the ACC and to be has some longevity. Oklahoma's not going to do that, so you don't have to worry. Look, I love the fact that I can go on the show and freely just trash Oklahoma.
You take more
Yeah.
jabs at OU than I do.
Oh, I love.
Hey,
Listen,
I'm here for it.
I
I'm
love it.
here for it.
I can't stand those spot muffins. So I'm here for it.
What
I'm all I'm all in. It's like
works for me. It
yeah.
works for me, but the trenches have definitely been something that Steve Sarkisian and Kyle Flood, Pete Kwiatkowski, the entire coaching staff have emphasized since day one of stepping on campus. I don't know if most people know this, but the recruiting under Tom Herman was very star friendly. It was very
Mm,
skill
well said.
position friendly.
Yeah, I noticed that.
We loved our skill position guys. We recruited well at the skill positions. The issues were always the trenches. The
And
issues were
that's
always the guys that weren't ever thought about consistently, the guys that could fall under the radar.
and
If you're not really focused on it that much.
and that may not end you with a top 5 class because the trenches get overlooked at times, so the star value isn't there because it's not as flashy. Now it has changed. It's evolving. The recruiting sites are understanding the value, and again, I think the development for the trenches is improving dramatically. Think about it right now, all the skill positions, they have all these camps constantly. So that
Mhm.
helps with their rating because they're looked at so often and so frequently where the trenches don't have that currently. But I do
Mhm.
believe the recruiting sites are putting more emphasis on putting more value to these guys because they're you're seeing it in the NFL, where the money's being paid, the edge rushers, the O lines, the guys that again, the
Mhm.
quarterback impacts the play every single play, but so do the linemen. and they just don't get as much love. But it's starting to return on that value. But good stuff. I'm glad we were able to hop on and take advantage of that breaking news for the Longhorns. Again, be sure to smash the like button and turn the bell on, because if things like this happen, Laced Up with Lacey and myself will be queued up and ready to go, hopefully, if all things are lined up, and be able to get that information to you as soon as possible. And we'll continue to monitor this Texas Longhorn class in for this 2025 season. So, again, smash the like button, subscribe. I'm Sheldon. That's Laced Up with Lacey, live every Monday except this Monday. Thankfully.
Unfortunately not. No, unfortunately not. We weren't able to do the live show tonight, but it did
Thankfully
allow me to jump on here right now. So,
yes.
So there we go. It worked out.
Tell them they can follow you, Lacey, so they can give you subscribe to your YouTube channel and on Twitter. And we appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. So you can follow me over at YouTube at Laced Up X Podcast. We're over there once again every single Monday night, typically around 7 p.m. Me and Coach Dub, Coach Charlie Williams, we always have a great time over there. So make sure you join us on Monday nights. But you can also come shoot the shit with me over on Twitter at Hook'emLaceyXOXO. I always have a lot of fun over there. So come join me.
From the top ropes, constantly throwing jabs. I love it. All right, guys. Smash the like button, subscribe. Till next time. We'll see you.
Welcome.